Hi YouTube, welcome to the Emporium Outdoors. My name is Michael. So today I'm going to do a first use review of the Giver 4-season gloves. These were provided by Giver for me to take a look at, and actually one of my subscribers actually recommended these gloves. So I've been using them over the last probably three weeks plus for just doing chores around the house and bits and bobs. I've just completed an outdoor camp for a weekend, and I've been using the gloves pretty extensively. And here are my findings. So it's not good, unfortunately, and I'm very sorry to Giver, because I think they're trying to make a really good product. But unfortunately, what they have here is not worth the premium that they're asking for the gloves. So these are around, I think it's like $100 or $120 US. So these are pretty expensive gloves, and they do have some nice features. They have the embossing on the back, which is really nice. They do a waxing, and also they did some burning as well of the initials, which is really nice. It's a thin slate glove. It's pretty heavy duty, but I found there's a couple of problems with them, and I'll kind of take you through them. So over working with these at the weekend, so I've been putting up the hot tent, I've been using the chainsaw, been doing all sorts of stuff with them. I did have to work with the stovepipe on my stove, so I did some hot work with them. I did feel the heat and actually got a blister through the glove. That's not the glove's fault. That was, I had to do something and I used the gloves for heat. So it was my right hand I got the blister on. So first observations, the gloves are made by completely two different people, or someone that decided to do them differently in a different day. And I can kind of show you that. So if I line up the stitching, so hopefully you can see the palm is a completely different size, so they're cut completely different. And also the finger on the right glove here, if you look at the length of that compared to the other glove, it's like an ET finger. It's actually quite big. This glove is the better glove. This one is not made as well. It's also a different grade of leather. If you look at the pile on the inside, you can see the suede. If you look at this one on the other side, it's actually much flatter. And you're not always going to get the same leather for each glove. Because I do work with leather, I understand a few of the differences. So ideally, when you're cutting gloves or anything that matches, you cut them from the same piece of leather so they match. So you have two like this or two like this. You don't necessarily cut them out of the different leather. So we do have different thicknesses. Obviously this one you can see has stretch where I've been kind of pulling on, and leather does move, but the other leather didn't. Obviously I've pulled that glove on equally, but more worryingly is on this particular glove. You can see hopefully the stitching start to come apart, and also at the edge as well. So this is really after 3 weeks, and I've only used them heavily one time. I use them for snow shoveling, etc. So it's very disappointing. If I paid money and not sent these for review, I'd be pretty upset. These would be going back at this point. This glove is actually put together really well. If both gloves were like this, I'd be much happier. But this glove, look at that ET finger. And just generally, if you actually pair up the gloves, so match up the lines, look at the difference in the finger sizes. And even if you line those up, the fingers are different. So I'm not sure how they cut this leather. Typically it's cut with a steel rule cutter, and they basically have a template and they press like the sharpened steel pattern cutter, and they cut the pieces, and you'd have several for each size of glove. But even on something like the thumbs, see how the stitching is completely different. So whoever did this glove decided to do this one completely differently. So going back to the pattern cutting, if you look at the palms, if I line those up, you see the palm is actually a different size. So that's not down to stretching, I can tell you that. Like I say, I kind of work with leather, and that's not a stretch problem. You would see it in other places. It would be elongated. It wouldn't be like that. So a little bit disappointing. I really want to like these gloves, and like I say, I apologize to Giver, and I will reach out to them and share my findings with them. And perhaps I just got a bad batch, or maybe the quality control has changed recently, and they're looking into this. But here's another. I'll just show you this as well. This is why I think I'm not sure what happened with the pattern cutting, but even the little pull that they put in the knitted cuffs, this one's much slimmer than this one, so it's a completely different size. So I'm not sure what's going on. I have enjoyed working with the gloves. I did find, obviously, on the big hand, let's call it the big hand, a little bit awkward, because obviously I have pretty standard hands, but you've got a huge amount of extra material. Like this hand's good. I'm touching each of the end points. Maybe the thumb's a little bit long, but that feels quite nice. This one, you know, it's just kind of like it's overly big. And you may say maybe they sent me two different size gloves, which is a possibility, but it doesn't explain. This palm is smaller, but the fingers are longer. This palm is bigger, and the fingers are the right size. So I'm not sure what's going on. And obviously the split cuff as well. Whenever you come to when you sew the end of material, you should back stitch in order to lock the stitches in, and I don't think this was done on these. I don't actually see that. So a little bit disappointing. Not sure what type of thread they're using, but it's very light thread, I would think. And I would certainly, for the price, I would be using something like a Kevlar thread or something that was super strong to basically make sure that the glove held together over a long period of time. For a $120 pair of gloves, these should last several years, and I'm going to have to actually do some repairs on them after 3 weeks. So in summary, I would actually I'll try and reach out to the company, and I'll put the comments after this video and see if they have anything to say about this, and I'll be as fair as I can to them. You know, everyone makes mistakes. It's how they put it right that actually counts. So I'll try and put the comments after this if they do have anything to say. But at this stage, I wouldn't recommend these gloves. I think there are better gloves out there for the price. And in all honesty, in the kind of build quality and as they currently are, this is like even at $40, I would be disappointed if they started to come apart in 3 weeks. I wouldn't expect that at all. So I think they're overpriced, unfortunately, for the quality they're trying to pitch for, and they don't really live up to my expectations, and I'm sure anyone else that bought them. So I've got to be honest, I wouldn't have any integrity if I didn't tell you the truth about things that I review, and hopefully you trust me to do that. So at this stage, I would not recommend these gloves. Okay, so until next time, take care. So I emailed Giver, and they did provide a response saying that the quality control had possibly failed, and they offered to replace the bad left glove and match it with the good right glove, which I think is an adequate response to a defective product. And as always, thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, leave me a comment, maybe a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.